what is the key mandate of the Municipal Demarcation Board? Why are some communities opposed to being merged with other municipalities? What is the criteria used in redetermining municipal boundaries? Have all demarcations for the 2016 local government elections been completed? What time is it? It is question time. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Mpho Tsedu. The Municipal Demarcation Board has concluded its resolutions for the determination and redetermination of certain municipal boundaries. Board Chairperson Jane Thupana says the decision to demarcate certain municipalities is not a political tool before next year's local government elections, but to improve service delivery. Meanwhile, some communities, including Vuwani in Limpopo and Ventersdorp in the northwest, have opposed being merged with other municipalities. This is a reminder, therefore, that this is a live program, and therefore you can call us. The numbers to dial 089-110-4210, 089-110-4210. Our Twitter handle @QuestionTime24. My guest today, Vuwani Ramagadza, is the acting CEO at the Municipal Demarcation Board. Let me welcome you to Question Time.
Thank you very much.
Perhaps before we throw all sorts of accusations at you and questions, what exactly is your mandate according to your rules and laws of establishment?
Thank you very much. The mandate of the Municipal Demarcation Board is derived first and foremost from the Constitution of the country, and secondly through national legislation like the Municipal Demarcation Act, but mainly is to determine or redetermine municipal boundaries in the country, but secondly to delimit municipal wards for local government elections, and to conduct what we call municipal capacity assessments. Over and above that, the board can then advise anyone in government on any matter that relates to the work that the board does. Those are the main functions of the Municipal Demarcation Board.
Okay, now, you've been in the news lately. You are not a very popular entity. People are up in arms. Let's start with Limpopo. The people in Vuwani, Kosimasia and his people there are saying, we don't want what you have come up with.
Look, first and foremost, demarcation by itself, it's a very sensitive matter, and I think that's why the authors of our Constitution felt it necessary that this function should be located within an independent body in the country, so that there will be fairness all the way. So we're not surprised that decisions of the board, because it's either or. If you know it, you're putting a line. And if you're putting a line, some are going to go to the left or to the right or to the south or to the north. So some people may not want to be in the south or to the north. So it's built into our own mandate by itself. But I'm very proud to indicate that the authors of our Constitution made it the way it is, because we are very conscious of the needs and the reasons why we have to determine or delimit municipal boundaries. So we know that for a fact, from time to time when there are decisions, there will always be people who are dissatisfied, but we try by all means to make sure that the process, the legal process, is followed, and we make sure that people are given a chance to contribute in the process.
Now, did you talk to the people of Vuwani before you decided that you were going to put the others on the other side?
Let me paint you a picture on what actually happened in that particular process. After we received the proposal from the National Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Mr. Pravin Gordhan, the first thing that the board decided to do before doing anything was to say, let's hear what the people say about these proposals. And that's provided for in terms of the law. We then went and published the minister's request as it is, and say to the members of the public, please give us your views and representation on what you think about this. And that provision in the Act gives people not less than 21 days. And we did that. People made their submissions, and we again moved to the next step. After we have got all the inputs, we realized that they are not enough because the board can decide after that part. But the board felt, no, we need to expand on the consultation process. The board decided to go for public meetings. We went, like for example, in that particular one, because it affected almost the whole of Vembe, we went to Thohoyandou Town Hall. The meeting was well attended. A lot of traditional leaders from different sides. On the Vuwani side, Malamulele side, the Mutale side, Thohoyandou areas, people were there, and they made their inputs felt. And we considered those, but over and above that, the board felt that because this is a technical process and there's a criteria for it, we needed to also conduct an investigation or research or a study to establish the facts on the ground. But the process didn't end there. Even after the board had taken a decision in June, the board published in provincial gazettes for anyone who's aggrieved by the process or by the decision of the board to submit their objections. And that happened. People submitted their objections, then they were considered, and the board finalized the process.
But then, surely, the people didn't say we want to take the route which the demarcation board is taking us. Because if that's what they had said, then there wouldn't have been all the protests and toys and all that.
I spoke earlier about the independence of the Municipal Demarcation Board. It is more evident when where there are people with different views. So, and that's why in that process you open it for anyone. Some people will say yes, some people will say no,
the majority were saying no.
Look, it's not necessarily about the majority, because there's a criteria for demarcation. So we need to make sure that we follow the criteria.
Am I wrong to therefore say that you just called people to meetings for the sake of compliance?
You're actually wrong, indeed. We make sure that the views of the people are listened to.
But if the views of the people were listened to, sir, you would have not created the situation that occurred there.
In terms of the Demarcation Act, if you are making a view, it has to be made within the context of the criteria that we need to follow. We know that a lot of people might say no, and then don't say anything. But what we look at, which the law enjoins us to do, is to make sure that demarcation is based on a criteria for demarcation.
I hope the people of Limpopo there are watching, and they'll be calling us on 089-110-4210, because it is important that we hear what you are saying. Let's go to Ventersdorp then. What is your position there?
As you would know, the board completed the boundaries in September, and those two municipalities are now amalgamated legally, and that is the position as we stand at the moment. Actually, the board's work is completed in that regard. So, and after completion by the board, everything goes to the Independent Electoral Commission, who then begins and starts with the electoral processes. But because we have only just recently completed the municipal boundary redetermination process, we then immediately began the ward delimitation process for the next coming local government election.
So what happens to the people who are saying we don't want Tlokwe and Ventersdorp to be amalgamated?
What happens, I suppose, again, I would like to take it back to our constitution. Everybody has got the right to either protest in one form or the other. But what I like most is the fact that everybody in South Africa got the right to challenge even the decisions of the board. And the laws of this country provides for people to either go to court, which they can then, and the court can decide. And the board, as an institution of the law, would always abide by the law. So that's the recourse that people would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll be taking your call 089-110-4210, 089-110-4210. Perhaps you are in one of those municipalities or areas that are currently, whether you are in Tlokwe, some in Ikageng are saying, no, we don't want to be part of Ventersdorp. The others are saying, we don't want to be part of Tlokwe, leave us alone. Where do you stand? 089-110-4210.
Choose the fill-up that gives your engine a clean-up. Choose BP Ultimate Fuels. BP. Go your way.
SABC News. We report, contextualize and present news and current affairs honestly, fairly and fully. We consider it a duty to provide consistent, relevant, useful and top quality information and analysis. Our mission is to provide credible, accurate and interesting news programming, bringing news into everyone's homes in everyone's languages. Thank you, South Africa, for relying on SABC News for quality news output and for making us your #1 source of information. SABC News, Africa's news leader.
Welcome back. We're still watching Question Time. My guest today, Vuwani Ramagadza, is the Acting Chief Executive Officer at the Municipal Demarcation Board. The number to dial is 0891104210. That's the number. Dagi in the Val called. Welcome to Question Time, Dagi.
Good evening, Mumfu. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Dagi?
I'm all right.
Yes.
I need to ask your man that you got on the program today.
Yes.
He says they a private body. Who are they appointed by? The ANC government.
Well, don't drop your phone. Don't drop your phone. I want him to answer, and you can make follow up. Who appoints you?
So then also
the Municipal Demarcation Board is appointed by the president.
Dagi, here is the answer. Dagi.
Yeah.
Listen to the answer here.
Okay, I'm listening.
The Demarcation Board is appointed by the president of the country.
You got it.
Yes, now I've got that. Then the other question is, it's easy to put another municipality or whatever with another municipality. Mm-hmm. Because now you're going to draw the income from that municipality. You're putting a bigger burden on the municipality that's already trying their best. Mm-hmm. Now they've got to accommodate a wider range.
Yes.
That's most unfair to people. They shouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
Each municipality should be taking care of itself.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. There you go. I guess, indeed, some of these measures are meant to improve service delivery. Are those things that really bother you, or you just do what you requested?
Certainly they do, because it's in our objectives for doing this kind of work that ultimately the municipalities that the Municipal Demarcation Board puts together, they are functional and they are able to deliver the services as they are supposed to. So it's very much a core of our mandate to make sure that these institutions or these special areas that we put together, they are ultimately supposed to provide services and be sustainable by themselves.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, what is going to happen come 2016 local government elections?
With regards to the municipalities that have just been completed now, what it means is that come the first day of the day of the election, there will be, if there were two, then there will be one. So in other words, when people will be voting on the day, they'll be voting for one council instead of two.
Okay.
So, and beyond that, we'll no longer be having Mbombela and Mjindi, for example. We'll just be having a new municipal council.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Mashaba, you are in Limpopo. Welcome.
Yes. Mpo, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Perhaps if you could just switch off your television volume, that is.
Yes, I am very much far from the TV. I'm very much far.
All right.
Yes, Mpo, I just want to ask something from the acting CEO, Mr. Vuwani, if I'm not mistaken there.
Yes.
During the process of funding for Malamulele to get the municipality, I think those committees of Malamulele fought for 3 months or more, but we never see the deputy state president of this country, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, coming down to address those problems of Malamulele people. Now, we've got people of Vuwani on fire.
Mashaba, your line is getting bad. I don't know if you can just stand still somewhere.
To be incorporated under Malamulele municipality. He was seen appearing at Vuwani. What criteria did he took into consideration for him to come down to Vuwani? Meanwhile, there were people who were fighting for more than 3 months or more at Malamulele. He was never seen being at Malamulele, coming down to address that problem.
Okay.
But now.
All right, Mashaba, I think we've got the gist of your question, but I wanted to just find out from you as to what then did you deduce out of that? Okay, Mashaba is no longer on the line. Well, I don't know. That's the question, though. I don't know if you will be able to answer it.
No, I can't actually. I can't answer for government, and I can't answer for the deputy president. But on the side of the Municipal Demarcation Board, we, as I said earlier, we are an independent body and we've got the law within which we operate. So I wouldn't be able to really answer on when and what does government follow to attend to certain things and not to attend to certain things, really.
But his presence there, would it have helped to advance your cause?
What I'm not sure how, but what I can tell you that even on the Malamulele issue when it was still burning, if I recall, even the president went there at some stage.
Okay.
The president himself. So I suppose even the deputy president, if there are issues of national interest or there's any instability in the country,
yes.
So they would have to intervene.
Okay.
But with regards to determining municipal boundaries, it's the responsibility of the Municipal Demarcation Board.
Okay. Itumeleng, you're in Pretoria. Welcome.
Welcome. Sorry, how are you, Mpo?
I'm well. How are you, Mpo?
I'm fine. Mpo, I want to know, is it the force that the Demarcation Board must force the people to belong to a new
whatever boundaries?
municipality?
Yes.
Do they have to force the people? That is the first question.
Okay.
And the second question is that why don't the Demarcation Board ask themselves, why do people don't want to belong to a certain municipality? That means something is wrong with the municipalities themselves. So why don't they concentrate on fixing the municipalities rather than changing people going into these municipalities, into different municipalities? Because of all these municipalities belong to the Republic of South Africa.
Yes.
That means the services should be the same for everyone. So why people refuse that? So that is what the Demarcation Board should ask themselves.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, perhaps I should explain the processes that we follow, because I can understand, I can hear that it's mainly because people may not necessarily understand how the municipal demarcation operates and why it's supposed to do what it does. I indicated earlier that this time around we acted after the request by the Minister of Cooperative Governance, of which he's allowed in terms of the law, Section 22(2), to engage with the board and the MECs and for the board to look at all of these things. Even members of the public who have had situations where they even approach the board. But I think the secret is mainly on the processes that the board has to follow in doing what it's supposed to do. Because we can't, when a request has arrived or when there's a need for a certain boundary or certain municipalities to be looked at, ignore it. So we have to look at it, but the most important thing is the process that we have to follow and the criteria that we have to adhere to get to a particular decision.
Okay.
Yes.
Tabiso, you are in Soweto.
Yes, how are you, Ndatempo?
Yes, thank you. I had an issue, boss, regarding what you call the issue of Matatiele. Matatiele actually basically was never consulted when those actually demarcations were done. Like, you remember, our government is a government of the people, for the people, by the people, by the way.
Yes.
In this case, there was a referendum whereby the SG of ANC, Mr. Kwedemantas, the referendum was actually done. But the results even today, we can't actually know what happened with them, because most of the people, because of the same problem of the Xhosa and the Zulu, basically, in Matatiele, so to say. It's the same thing of tribalism between the Venda and the Tsonga. It's the same thing. These people, they are trying to, like, for instance, taking the issue of a tribalism and put it somewhere in their shelves, while actually they are the one that are perpetuating it. They can't tell you actually even today what happened actually with the referendum that was held in Matatiele some few years ago. The very same demarcations.
Okay.
Actually, that was the process which was run by the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs then. But on the part of the Municipal Demarcation Board, we have to make it clear that the board is not responsible for provincial boundaries. That matter, including the Mirafong one,
yes,
has got to do with provincial boundaries, people wanting or not wanting to go to either of the two provinces. So it's got nothing to do with the Municipal Demarcation Board. It's just that at that stage, people were talking about municipalities, like the municipality of Matatiele, not wanting to be included into the province of the Eastern Cape. But that process is not a responsibility of the Municipal Demarcation Board. It's a constitutional matter which is dealt with through the relevant departments and Parliament, because they have to amend the Constitution to do that.
Okay, Bembe, you are in Limpopo. Bembe?
Yes, hi, Impo.
Hi.
Yes, how are you, Impo?
I'm doing well, thanks for the call.
Yes, fine. I'm in Limpopo.
Okay.
Yes, I'm trying to get your guest today.
Yes, he's listening.
But when you listen to what he's saying, he is saying that they are appointed by the president.
Yes.
And the work that they are doing are sometimes having interest from the department from Coxter,
yes,
the minister itself. Therefore, how then do you think there is impartiality where now they don't have to carry the mandate of their boss than the mandate of the people? Because if the people are saying no, you can see it from far. It doesn't need any spin doctor. That their consultation was just for formality's sake. This is what they are still doing in here. I'm here in Seshego, where they are trying to also to shift within Seshego. You know Seshego.
Yes.
I can say they are trying to take Madiba Park as one of the sections which is next to Zone 1. They want to shift it to be and it's next to Zone 1 and the Tuli. But they want to take the very same Madiba Park to Zone 2, so that it must be with Zone 2. And then they just came with that information, and people denied. And if you look at what is happening in Vuwani, Malamulele, your guest there is saying, he claims to say that the president went there. But the president, in one of his speech, when he was asked on the public platform, like when he said, after close to 3 months, people have been struggling, infrastructure being destroyed. Then he claims to say, no, I was not aware. That's why I went outside the country. Okay. I was not aware because that's why that there's something burning in
okay, thank you very much for that question. But I think here, the point is, people are saying you're not listening to them, because if they are saying we do not want, I mean, the example that he's giving, Madiba Park, which is on the other side of Masakane, having to be form part of Zone 2, it's unheard of.
His concerns are about two things. The first one, he was talking about actually is questioning the integrity of the Municipal Demarcation Board. What I have to indicate is that the Municipal Demarcation Board is comprised of men and women of integrity, and they strive to make sure that the needs of South African citizens are taken care of by applying the laws of the country. But secondly, he's speaking more about the ward delimitation process. Those are the boundaries within the municipalities. And it's a different process altogether, and there's a different criteria which is dependent on the number of registered voters.
Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you very much.
And I think I must wish you luck, as it would appear you need it.
Thank you very much.
All right. That was question time. You have yourself a wonderful time. Goodbye. Thank you.